You're suffering because you're attached to the way that you want your life to look and the way you want your relationships to show up for you. And suffering equals when our expectations do not meet our reality, when we exist in that gap. But when we alleviate ourselves and the people around us and our circumstances of those expectations, that's where we find true peace. Being nothing, being attached to nothing, identifying with nothing. Hi, I'm Anaya. I'm your bridge to independent thought and deeper discovery of self. And today I want to discuss detachment. And I feel like everybody has a huge lesson. Do you ever encounter the same lesson over and over and over again? I think mine is detachment. I have been through so many circumstances where I learned to detach even more and even more. And today I want to share with you my ideas around that. And yeah, first I want to talk about ego death. And I've never experienced the one time experience of ego death. I think there's two types. One, which is kind of the one that's induced by drugs, and it's a huge thing, and it kind of all happens at once. And the second type is the daily type of ego death, where you decide to separate yourself from the ego, from the sense of self, which can look like seeing yourself in other people. Because when you see someone and it elicits this emotion, maybe of jealousy, maybe of envy, you are upset by that person because they're triggering something in yourself that you don't like. It's you and your perception of the experience. You know, the experience is going to be different depending on who you ask. Like, it's not, if someone looks at the same person, they're not going to feel the same exact way. Like, maybe that other person won't feel jealous because, you know, they don't have any beliefs around the thing that you're seeing in that person that stands out and that makes you jealous. So, seeing yourself in other people removes that barrier of, oh, I'm special, oh, I'm different. When in reality, we're all so connected. We do want to, we live in such an individualistic society where we all want to feel special and want to feel like we're different from others, but we're so interconnected and more similar than we may ever think. And I love seeing communities. And I think we lack that here in the Western world. We're very individualistic. But once you start to understand that the way that other people appear to you is just a reflection of your own thoughts and your own experiences, then you start to understand how connected we all are and dissolving of the ego. So, yeah, also when you feel those emotions, let's say you see someone and they, well, yeah, you see someone and it makes you jealous of them. Think to yourself, why am I jealous of this person? Is it because I want what they have? Is it because I used to have what they had? And I don't know. You got to ask yourself, why am I jealous? Because our emotions are going to lead us into our greatest and deepest knowing. Our emotions are going to kind of be that map, that guideline through our lives, which is very interesting considering how many people indulge in their vices that kind of wipe away all those emotions. I think it's best to keep those emotions and keep that pure, clear state of mind for the majority of this existence, of this awareness, so that you can use your emotions for that guideline and see, like, how can I be better? Because you can still be jealous, but at the end of the day, you understand, okay, this is what I want deep inside. I want to either look like that, be like that. Personally, I've been jealous of people who seem super extroverted and super connected with people because deep down, that's what I wanted. I'm super introverted. So I went on a path to learn how to connect with people and learn how to be more sociable and more comfortable in the world, as far as socializing and being around people. So, Yes, use your emotions as a guideline instead of maybe disliking yourself for being jealous or feeling guilty for having envy, and instead use them as guidelines to improve on yourself. But yeah, experience that daily ego death. I've never experienced that one time ego death. Um, but instead of having those emotions and attaching to them, detach from them. They're indicators and they're not a part of you. Think of it as like, I don't know, a leaf blowing down a river downstream, and that leaf is your emotion. It comes in and it goes out, and it's not a part of you, but it just flows through you. So, yeah, that's my belief on emotions and how deeply and purely that they serve us. Um, but yeah, at the same time, I think a lot of us identify heavily with our beliefs in general, and you make it your whole personality. For example, the whole spirituality trope. I think it's so easy to start buying the bracelets and having the crystals and wearing the boho clothing and the spiritual black girl aesthetic and the locks and the this and the that. And it all just contributes to the aesthetic. But as far as going deeper and understanding yourself, are we really doing that? Are we really practicing the way we're showing up? Or are we so excited to have a new aesthetic? And I'm not dogging on anybody, but I've also indulged in the whole, performative side of spirituality. But when it comes down to it, is it really a part of your life, or are you just identifying more with your belief systems? And on the shadow side of that, when you think of, well, how do you talk to yourself when you drop something, when you drop some food, when you make a mess? How, like, what is your first instinct? And I know mine is like, I think there's three ways you can think about it when you make a mess. Either you say, "Oh, you're so stupid, you're so clumsy," or you say, "Oh, you made a mess again. This is so unfortunate," and it's not so much negative towards you and your beliefs about yourself. It's viewing the mess as something chaotic and something that you got to clean up. Or it's, "Oh, we can just make more," or "That's a quick and easy clean. We can get it done." I think you can see how you identify with yourself by the way you initially talk to yourself after you make a mess. And that voice in your head is that general nature of the voice that shows up whenever something happens in your life. And then we take that voice and we make it our identity. We think the because of the tone of that voice, like that is how we believe ourselves to be, when in reality we can also make that distinction. It's not you are the voice, it's you and the voice. And I think a great tool to be able to separate ourselves from that voice is to name it. And I learned this in a therapy session. It helped me so much. We talked about anxiety and to name your anxiety. And I named mine Emma because I feel like Emma is a really sweet name. Like whenever I meet an Emma, she's usually pretty cool, like pretty unproblematic, and I could get to know an Emma. I could get to know an Emma. So when you start feeling those negative feelings, whether you've named your anxiety, you've named your I don't know, your fears, then when it comes up, you can talk to it and not identify with it so deeply. So, for example, before a date, you start getting anxious, you start shaking, you start, wondering, what if this, what if that, what if that? And you get to think of it as, oh, Emma's here again. It's okay, Emma. Like, you're supposed to feel this way. You're supposed to feel this way before a date. You're supposed to be nervous. You don't know the person. It makes sense. And you can separate yourself from that belief instead of taking that on and saying, I usually get nervous before dates. Or like I'm a nervous person or something like that. You can separate and be like, hey, it's okay. It's okay to feel this way. Because when you think about it, when you were a child, and we all have that inner child within us, if you're nervous about something, how do you want a parent or a parent figure to interact with you in that moment? Would you rather they say, oh, you shouldn't be nervous? Like, don't do that. Or stop crying, you're so sensitive. No, you want them to be there. You want them to allow you to speak your feelings, to be able to communicate how you feel about the situation, and you want them to comfort you. So be that parent to your child, your inner child, and think, hey, like, it's okay. Why are you feeling this way? What is making you nervous or upset or fearful? And you can guide yourself in and out of situations by being able to really connect with your triggers for that nervousness, for that shyness, for that anxiety, and navigate in and out of situations, preferably out of situations that make you feel that way. So, yeah, I think also on the positive side of naming your emotions, I think it's important to also name your most powerful sides of yourself, like your intuition, your womb intuition. So they call it women's intuition for a reason. And it's the lessons lie in the cliches. I'll tell you that, because women's intuition, you just hear it. It's like, oh, women's intuition. But when you get in that situation and your gut is telling you, literally your gut, that gut feeling. Why do they say that gut feeling? Because intuition is in the womb, in the gut. But when you get that gut feeling, you're like, oh, I got to get out of here, or things got to change, or something's happening. It's for a reason. You have a deeper power, a deeper intuition. And instead of allowing the intuition to come whenever you're in a dire circumstance, name it and be able to call upon it in everyday average situations. If you want to make a decision about a relationship or what class to take or what career path to go on, give it a name and be like, hey, Anna, where should we go? Like, what should we do next? Should I hang out with this person? And it's so easy to depend on people around us to ask them advice for the situations that we're in, but we have that power within us. It's okay to ask for advice, but just know that you have that power within you, and you can name it and you can call upon it at any time in your life. And the more you do, the more you trust yourself and the more powerful that intuition will become. Oh, it's so beautiful. Such a beautiful concept. It's like calling upon a friend, and the more you do inner work and the more you get closer to your purpose, it's like the closer that you get to a friend. You become your own best friend. Yeah. Detachment is the hugest or the biggest lesson that I've come face to face with over and over and over again. And I hope this message reaches someone and you're able to detach to come closer to a deeper sense of peace. I think peace comes from when you're not swayed by your environment, you're not a product of your environment. We can be physically, but mentally, when you're at a mental homeostasis, that's where peace comes from. When you can be in a situation or come out of a situation that is emotionally intense and still have this inner homeostasis of, okay, this happened, but I can regulate through this. And I know that this isn't me. I know that time will pass. I know that there's there's this level of impermanence that comes with everything that we go through. Like, nothing lasts forever. And you can look back at those situations that are tough, where you're having a really tough mental day where I don't know, the people around you affect you so deeply, and you just have all these negative emotions around all these people at work that you don't really collide with, or that you don't really mesh with, and everything collides when you're around them. And you have these feelings of jealousy and envy and irritation. You can just think, what irritates me about this person? Or you can see the thing that they're doing and think deeply about it, and just ask yourself, like, what part of me am I seeing in this person? And then that leads to more grace for others around you, that leads to more patience for others around you. And those are higher vibrational emotions than feeling like stress and hatred and anger. Very low vibrational. The higher vibrational that you feel at a constant throughout your day, the more that you attract that is also at that vibration. So if you exist at a higher vibration throughout the day, then you will attract a higher vibrational life and higher vibrational things. It's like when you're angry, no one looks at you because they can feel that. That is that is an energy that is surrounding your person that others can pick up on. But when you're in a good mood, when you give somebody a compliment, this happens all the time. I'll be like, oh my God, I like your shoes. Or I'll be like, you look so pretty. Then I walk away from that person and I run into another and they tell me, oh my God, you look so pretty. And it's just this aura that you carry with you when you're at a deep, deep level of peace. It's like people then see you and you become a mirror and you reflect the things that are in them. And they won't always react in a positive way, but it allows them to react authentically and connect with you authentically. So you're going to have those little moths that are there throughout the day when you're operating at a higher vibrational state and at a consistent vibrational state of peace. But you will also attract those higher vibrational moments when you can understand more about yourself and stay stable with the way that you're feeling emotionally throughout the day. So I hope that I've been a mirror to you. Please like and subscribe the video. It really helps. Liking sends the video out into the ether. So please like the video. Please subscribe. I have more on my channel about discovering your peace, your passion, your inner knowing. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.